trolling through the Goodwill this afternoon, like I tend to do on most Monday afternoons, and was digging through the laptop parts, and this entire laptop is sitting in the laptop parts for a whopping 15 bucks. Figured, well, what the hell, I'll pick it up. I got one just like it that I've had since it was new. Figured get the same, it's the same chassis, same board, same parts. So I figured I'd pick it up. This one's a little bit higher end. This one has a dual core 2 duo in it. My original has a Pentium dual core. I'm not a gamer, so I don't require the latest, greatest craziness for laptops. I do most of my gaming on my consoles or on my big PC. So buying a brand new $800,000 laptop is out of the question, especially when these still work good enough. Anyway, picked this laptop up, figured, yeah, what the hell, it's probably just completely dead, you know. A lot of them have the BGA problems with the CPU sockets going bad from the lead-free soldering crap. But got it home and plugged it up. Thankfully the chargers are interchangeable between the two because it's the same hardware. And well, what was wrong with it? The keyboard was bad. So here's the keyboard. I already went ahead and pulled it out. Several of the buttons don't work, like F2 doesn't work. Like Q, W, and E don't work. X doesn't work. Some of the buttons over here don't work. Nothing has appeared to have been spilt in it. It's a completely clean keyboard. It's spotless inside. Nothing's been spilt in it. So could be the ribbon cable's gone bad. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to order a new keyboard for it. I found one for like $12 on Amazon. So DVD burner still works. We'll still read a disc. They left the hard drive caddy in it, so I was able to put a new drive in it. So I put a new hard drive in it, and it fires right up and works. Good screen. Screen's not all cracked. You know, some of the ones you'll find up there, if they're still whole units, the screens are busted all the shit in them. So for 15 bucks, we got a Core 2 Duo. Like I said, it ain't no powerhouse, but it's faster than my older one back there. We'll get a keyboard for it and put it back to work. Oh, and the battery still works. Yeah, I'm surprised by that. The battery in my other one back there, it'll run for like 15 minutes and die. So yeah, I was quite surprised. It only has a gig of memory in it. We'll have to take care of that. It's got an Intel Wi-Fi card in it. Wi-Fi card still works. So looking at the keyboard, I have a USB keyboard hooked up to it now. But we'll get a keyboard and fix her up. So this is that $15 parts bin Toshiba I picked up at the Goodwill the other day. This will be an appendage onto the video that I've already made. The problem was the keyboard. That's in the previous part of this video. And I was going to order a new keyboard for it. You know, they're about $15 to about $30, depending on where you get them on the internet, eBay, Amazon, some of the surplus parts warehouses that scrap out old laptops. And I was like, well, let me do some more testing before I haul off and order a keyboard for this thing. So a couple things we've done here. Some of these keys, like I might have explained this in the other part. It's been about a week since I made the video, but like one would work, but Q and the rest of the buttons wouldn't work. I think A would work, but S wouldn't work, and so on and so forth. And I got to thinking about how these work. You know, they work in rows and columns, and then there's really not any logic in the keyboard itself. It's all in the I/O controller. But that information, of course, is sent. Pop this out real quick. All that information is sent on your ribbon cable here. It's a little dark in here, but anyway, it's sent on this ribbon cable. And I figured, well, these ribbon cables, they got that little tip on the end there that slides up into the connector here. And I was like, well, let's give it a cleaning just to see. This laptop is from like 2007, 2008, so it's probably got oxidation on it. No telling where it's been since I had it, or since the Goodwill had it, but the inside of this keyboard is clean. Nothing's ever been spilt in it. So anyway, I went and got some of my heavy duty shit that I used to clean video game cartridges with. And I know I said I'm not a gamer in the other part of this video, but that's a laptop gamer. I game like crazy on my consoles and stuff. But anyway, I use this stuff to clean my video game cartridges with. Now, this is some pretty heavy duty shit, so I don't use a lot of it. I use a very thin amount of it when I go to clean pins on a cartridge. And you'd be surprised how damn nasty some of the 30 and 30 plus year old game cartridges are getting. Especially the older stuff like the Atari 5200, 2600. A lot of the NES stuff is in real bad shape. But I put a little bit of that on some Q-tips, and lo and behold, all this crap comes off. So, like, okay, cleaned all that off. A little bit more on there. Now, if you do this, make sure you get some like 90 or 91 proof alcohol to clean this shit back off. Don't leave it on there because it'll keep eating away at the metal. So we did all of that and put the keyboard back in, and I'm like, okay, we made progress. A lot of the keys that quit working, like Q, W, E, and R, basically QWERTY quit working. They started working again, but I still had like S wouldn't work, spacebar wouldn't work, like colon and all that wouldn't work. I was like, okay. So I was like, well, maybe that cable has a little damage, It's been in this connector for a long time. Maybe it's just indented too far down that it won't make a connection up in here. So I took a pair of scissors, and you've got a pretty good bit on the end of that cable that you can use to do this. Such a small piece, I have a hard time picking it up. But right here, that's the very end off that cable. I took a pair of scissors and cut this end off. Just a little bit. Cut too far off, you won't have anything to make contact with. So we took that and cut that off, and then stuffed her back down in there. And before we did that, of course, we want to clean up inside this edge connector, because whatever cruft is on here is also going to be on the pins in there. So we cleaned all of that out and put the cable back in after we took this off, because some of this, if it won't come out in this video because this is iPhone video, it's garbage, but the very edge pins here, they have really deep dents in them, which I think is why it wasn't making very good contact. But did all that, and lo and behold, set this back in there. Make sure we got it in so nothing's going to short. We power her up. Alright, so we got booted up into Windows here. And got the keyboard bolted down so it can't flop around or anything. And we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 dash equals enter, and so on and so forth across the keyboard. And it looks like we have a healthy keyboard. Caps lock. see, tab key works, backspace works, looks like delete works. Let's see, looks like home button works, looks like end works. Yep. So there we go. I think we have ourselves a working keyboard again. A little bit of cleaning and a little bit of modification to the edge connector. Just take out a little bit of the bad parts of it off. It looks like we're good to go. Let's see, tilde works, shift key works. Yep. Well, there you go. So this one got saved from the landfill, $15 laptop. And thanks to messing around with a little bit of cleaners and things, we saved ourselves about $20 or $30 on a keyboard. So I believe that concludes this video. Another one saved from the landfill.